Hi, I'm Alison Embrey, and this is my mentor, Wendy. We're going to talk about my elementary lesson number 2. And in this lesson, I was teaching Amy and another student about using descriptive words to improve their writing by describing themselves and creating a poster on the computer. So now Wendy and I are going to go over the rubric and lesson.
Okay, Allison, another great lesson here. I thought you did an amazing job starting that lesson off with a video to help kind of set the tone for what you were wanting the students to do and what you were wanting them to think about in regard to themselves. Because I think sometimes they struggle and they get stuck in the same like, oh, I'm sweet, I'm nice, I'm
Yes.
kind. And I think that it's one of those things that sometimes you might have to pull things out to get them to think. And I loved this worksheet that you had for them to kind of help guide them. And I know sometimes um, it's hard for us to just think about that as ourselves. So it was great that you involved both girls in helping each other to kind of come up with some words for describing each other after they came up with a few by themselves. So good job out of you. And I really liked the fact that you had a backup plan in the event that they got stuck in using the same word. So I thought that was great to have that ready to go, because sometimes we as teachers we get stuck and we're like, oh, if only I had that. So way to go for having that backup plan ready to go. Um, for the flow of this lesson, I thought I gave you a 3 on that this time around because I thought that you'd stepped it up and it seemed to flow together more easily. And I don't know if it was the video that started that, but awesome job there. So higher learning, I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes to push our special needs students to that higher level. Um, and so just because they get stuck and they can't see if you try to use something different, but I gave you a 2 on that. And again, this time, just because it's really hard to get them to push and understand what you're talking about and not look completely lost. So I saw that you tried to push it to a 3, but it was just one of those that sometimes the kids just don't get it. You roll with it, you move to the next thing, and you did a great job doing that. As far as their engagement, active engagement, and student engagement, it was really high. I gave you 3s on that. Behavior management, you do a great job with that, and the kids, I don't even know, they seem to respect you and understand kind of the classroom management and how things, the procedures and the way things should go. So good job out of there, or good job on that section.
Thank you.
As far as communicating, I think like their end result of their project, I mean, these are great. Having them pick out the design, they came up with words. You used Wordle, which I haven't used that in a long time, but I feel like I need to get back on and make one for myself.
Yeah.
Or tell my
That's
kids
cool.
to make one for me. They could, only the good Lord knows what they would say
I wanna make one
about
too.
their teacher. But I think that it could be fun activity. So it was a good way to incorporate adjectives and describing words and kind of getting them to build on their writing and just build on themselves, a boost of confidence there. So assessment piece, it looked like they had a bunch of different things that they said about themselves. It wasn't like the same word that they used over and over and over, which is great because kids get stuck in that rut, and you did a great job of pushing them to think beyond nice
Yes.
and kind.
Yes.
And so supporting them, yeah, you did have to spell some, or you referred them back to the sheet. That's pretty standard and typical. But you weren't just right there spelling everything word for word for them. You made them kind of do it. And Wordle is a good program because it will catch some of those spelling glitches, and then you can kind of talk about it if you need to talk about some spelling skills, which you seem to have done just fine at. So on this one, this lesson, I gave you a 21 out of 24 because you kind of bumped up some things here or there, but keep up the good work. You're doing great.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
good
Thank
luck.
you. Thanks.